What a fucking nightmare this has turned out to be. Oh man, Windows is clearly designed only for fucking knobs who can't use DOS so they can use fucking spreadsheet programs. Nothing else, bruv. Nothing else, innit? If you don't agree with that, fucking click the back button now, innit? Oh yeah, the big question is, do you need real hardware or do you just need a USB controller and an emulator? I don't know what the fuck is going on with this particular machine at the moment, but I don't want to use stuff on my projector. For the number of subscribers I've got, I'm sorry, I cannot use projector bulb hours because projector bulbs are expensive. So what should have been a 5-minute operation, fucking take this thing, which is a Sega 6-button Joypad rip-off for £4 with a USB connector. Vice really doesn't like this particular, what do you call it, graphics driver? I don't know, latest version of DirectX, glitching like a motherfucker. However, this is a PAL version of Iridium and I'm using it at 60 frames per second, so you know, I have had other problems. So yeah, the purpose of this was really just both to test this controller and also to test whether this is a valid replacement for a real Commodore 64 on a CRT and you know, an SD card solution for tape and disk loading. That's the ideal situation, but if you use this shit every day it will stop working. And even the C64 isn't that cheap now. Excluding the cocksucking fucking resellers. Yeah, you know who you are, mate. Fuck off. Don't buy anything from a reseller. In fact, forget buy it now. When you do a search for Commodore 64 computers or any 8-bit, 16-bit retro computer console, just fucking put it on auction only. Resellers do not use auction. They want to fucking get the maximum amount of fucking shit out of you. So, I've picked some games to test this thing, and Iridium is the first thing you want to test. I'm not testing the laptop. I can actually play the games on the keyboard. So, you know, I've got the old mini keyboard thing. Yeah, I can't fucking see the LCD on the camera there, mate. But, yeah, we're going to test the response time of both USB on this particular machine, which is a Core 2 Duo at 2-point-something gigahertz. And it's only running Windows XP, so it's plenty fast enough. It's got like 2 or 3 gig of RAM, I can't remember now. This thing will play 1080p YouTube videos in HTML5, no sweat. And WinVice runs on a Pentium 3. For fuck's sake, Pentium 4 definitely. So, let's go. For some reason the mouse cursor has appeared. Sorry. Ah, come on, man. This is the thing with this shit. Fucking stupid mouse cursor. Right. Okay, it's glitching up like a cunt, so we might have to set it back to 50 frames per second. But the good news is the response time on the actual pad is not bad. And let's face it, we all played some of these earlier games on the C64 with some horrendous joysticks, so you know, you can't moan that it's not arcade quality. Crap. It's glitching up, I can't fucking tell where the shit is. Yeah, this is the version I had. I think I've got to go down now. And you back up in it. Where's the fucking land pad? What the hell's happening to the landing zone? What the hell? You know what? I don't think this is a good game to try out in NTSC mode. Okay, there you go. See, crappy Windows. There you go, mate. And I'll try two different versions of Vice, 3.1 and 2.4. Because at the end of the day, I wanted to make sure that Vice isn't the issue, you know, being Windows XP. Actually, we're gonna have to, yeah, let's just fucking load something I know works in NTSC. So, let's go Sky Shark, which is the American version of Flying Shark from Firebird, a game I do not like from Firebird. But the American version is not bad. So, we've got an NTSC C64 setting. We've got the full screen mode set to 60 Hz. And we shall go to full screen now, sir. Yes, sir. I don't know if you can see all the glitching that's going on down the bottom, but let's have a look at this. So yeah, the worst thing about doing it this way, no matter what happens with this review, is you have to use Windows. And that is a negative thing. Anytime you have to use Windows, it's a negative experience. I'm sorry, that's just the fucking rules, mate. The only people who don't say that are fucking dumb shits who've never used an Amiga or Atari ST in the 80s. So, you know, that's just how it is. But let's give this a go. So I've got the mini keyboard for pressing the buttons. So let's give this a go. I don't know if Swiv is going to work in NTSC mode. Oh man, they're still doing this stupid shit. Does not like this Intel graphics at all. Oh man, and it always puts a fucking mouse cursor there, right in the middle. Does it not make a sound for when you fire? Why isn't there a fucking VSync option as well? Maybe there is, maybe I can't find it. But oh, you got rapid fire. This is a really good game actually. So basically you have to decide, do I need a real C64? Well, my advice there would be first, you have to try out Vice. On your machine, full screen on a CRT, because that's what we're talking about. You should really play these games on a CRT. and make sure that that is spot on. So no glitching, tearing, fucking frame drops, none of that shit. So, you know, and that's obviously not happening here for one reason or another. And I have spent over an hour fucking about with everything, downloading emulators, blah blah blah, extractors. This is quite a virgin Windows XP install on this laptop. I don't want to use Windows 7, I don't want to use Windows 10. Don't insult me by telling me about Windows Vista and Windows 8. XP is really the only option if you want a frame accurate sort of emulation experience. Without Windows 10 suddenly deciding it has to do a fucking Microsoft spying session and fucking collect loads of data, which is doing for no fucking reason, because I've destroyed the process that lets it actually upload anything back to the Microsoft servers. Fuck you. It's bad enough I have to use your shit, why should I help your company get even bigger? Die already, fucking Microsoft. Just fucking die already, you fucking cunt. So the sad thing is, the Joypad seems okay. It's better than a Competition Pro USB joystick because they seem to have a bit of delay on them. This doesn't seem to have that delay. Now the glitching is really fucking annoying me now. So I don't really know what to tell you. This is not working for me. And if you have to buy a fucking really expensive Windows 10 computer, just to make sure that, you know, with decent sound emulation, twice never skips a beat. Whilst recording, because that was another idea I had, I could record the files from within Vice as well. So, you know, those people who didn't want to hear my annoying fucking voice, or put up with the shit bootleg quality of the camera pointing at the CRT business, they could watch that video. Maybe I could even splice my shitty comments on the superior emulated video, but I'm not doing that at the moment because it's already glitching. So that, you know, there's like something going on here. I've noticed on some of these Dell laptops from this sort of era, you do get problems with Vice that I don't get on, like, you know, proper graphics chips from Nvidia and ATI on those laptops. Now, of course, there's no way to do the special weapon without reaching over the keyboard. But on a CRT, which is the whole point of this shit, it actually looks really good. You could be mistaken for thinking this is a Nintendo 8-bit game. Don't look any worse than Airwolf on the Famicom. Oh, really fuck. See, to get past this, oh man. So you have to reach over for the keyboard. And a C64 keyboard with your C64 on the floor and your high-tech boots on the fucking space bar. That is actually quite a reasonable option. However, on your laptop or your PC, that's not the case. Especially with the stupid modern remote control buttons for fucking keyboards that we have to endure. So it's just not doing it properly. I don't know why it's not fucking doing it properly. It's really annoying now. I don't think that would make a difference. All this CRT emulation stuff is off. See, render filters off, palettes off, audio leak, whatever. It's just not doing it. I've tried different resolutions as well. I've already tried that. So this is not an enjoyable experience. Using the C64 and the CRT with file media that you know would definitely load from disk drives and tape decks that definitely loaded, or cartridges that worked. That should be an enjoyable experience from the moment you switch the machine on. Happy memories flooding back. It shouldn't be fucking about with Windows and emulator settings and blah blah blah. It's really not right. And then finding out you have to buy a different laptop or a different graphics card for your PC just so it'll work like a fucking 1982 Commodore 64. That's just ridiculous, mate. That is not an option. At the moment it's not looking good. A C64 is so cheap. Even now you can get a C64C. You could get a yellowed one with a working tape deck probably for about 40-50 quid plus postage. You know, the tape emulator or the disc emulator, you're probably talking a roughly 25 quid ish, maybe a bit more, plus postage for that sort of thing. That will eliminate any problems with you know, bad tapes or bad discs, real media. And you know, nobody makes a USB zip stick, so I do actually have two other emulators on here at the moment. I've got the Steve Snake emulator for, you know, Mega Drive, Master System, all that kind of stuff. Even Game Gear, but I didn't copy the Game Gear games over it. This stupid fucking screensaver keeps losing the fucking registration code. I don't know where I put the fucking name. That screensaver is actually by James D. Sachs or Sash, depending how you want to. You know, Mr. Cinemaware, Mr. Defender of the Crown, if you like. Very good screensaver. It's called Serene Screen. I really like it. I've had it on my laptop since about 2005, like 1.5 decades. Still the best aquarium screensaver. It was really good on the projector actually. Cats like it. You've got to keep the cats happy. This is their room. I'm sitting on their sofas. So, you know, got to give them some respect, mate. Because we all know that cats are basically the same as, you know, the early caveman sort of brain. They're very, very similar to that. The only thing that's different is their body. But, you know, their minds are kind of how they would have been. Addicted to sex, will sniff drugs, which in the case of cats is a particular writing implement. They love it. And they will eat treats even if their stomach is full. You can feed them as much regular food and biscuits as you like. Take out a packet of Webox and off you go, mate. Good luck not getting your fingers fucking chomped off. They're exactly the same as us. Well, our ancestors, to be quite honest, but you may not agree with that, and that's up to you. But if you don't agree with anything I say, you probably won't be on my channel anyway, to be quite honest. Seems to have a fair bit of the screen capture in there, that's alright. So, time for a new game. you can actually play this game in 50 Hertz. I've actually done that before. I'm going to do that now. As soon as you set this on Vice, it will reset anyway. So, I mean, if the glitching continues, we'll have to do non-scrolling games. And I have actually decided on quite a few games that are suitable for testing it. And these are games I'm going to have to somehow get on my C64 Mini, the C64 Mini, not the Commodore C64. There we go. What was I saying? So to test that out, you know, there's certain games I want. You know, different games to test different aspects, response time, accuracy of the controller, you know, the Competition Pro that comes with the C64 Mini. And basically that's the only way you can review that. Now your selection of games will be different based on the games that you owned. But these are the ones that I know, you know, will definitely go well for me. Yeah, the laptop is actually outputting at 60 Hertz and the TV works with 60 Hertz, as you'll know from my PlayStation 2 videos, some of which I have uploaded, 300 of which, you know, NES, Atari 2600, PS2, C64, real hardware game reviews I haven't actually uploaded, so yeah, this is going to glitch again. There's nothing I can really do about this. If it only glitches a taskbar that's underneath this full screen mode from Windows. Now for some reason the first time the sound doesn't work. Sound of your missiles or shots being fired. There you go, and then it suddenly starts working. I've no idea why that happens. I mean, for older machines to output to TV, there is some processing involved there. I think one of the earliest ones to do it was a Toshiba in the 90s, and it did 640 by 480 in 256 colours only, even though the graphics card could do more than that. And it used about a third of the CPU power. I'm trying to remember what those laptops would have been. Pentium 2, I think. Not 100% sure. I can't remember what they were called. Toshiba did, oh actually that's what it was, a Tecra, because the Satellite Pro was not for corporate use, it was intended for, like, you know, consumers. So let's try something that's a lot less taxing and was written, you know, to be used on a power machine. So let's try Gauntlet 2, as long as the characters don't fuck up. Actually we could try something else. So I've got Alien Syndrome, Action Biker, Alley Cat, you know, from Andrew Braybook, Commando, Gauntlet 2, Hunchback 1, Hunchback 2, Manic Miner, Scorpius, which is a very good £2.50, £3 Firebird, Silverbird game for the C64. It's a shoot 'em up. Sky Shark, which I've shown you, Iridium I've showed you, Super Mario Brothers, you know, C64's on here. You know what, we'll try that. So we've got Bubble Bobble as well, Manic Miner, which I've already said, the other one's Construction. Who Dares Wins 2 and Daley Thompson's Decathlon. No turbo available, Sid's 1, There we go. I think there should be music. You know what, I might go back to Winvice 3.1. Definitely something going on with this shit. I know this emulator works absolutely fine on XP. Used to be on my old laptop, which still works. I just need a hard drive for it, and then the fucking days of installing and tweaking everything for Windows, which I fucking hate, which involves turning off features and you know, finding obscure old versions of stuff that still works on why is there no sound? Oh, there we go. Oh no, because you got to push up to jump. This controller is not great for that. It's sort of, it's better than the Atari 7800. D-pads, the buttons are alright. But it's not quite Sega Master System. Yeah, I can see that people who played this on real hardware straight away, as soon as the conversion came out, you know, we need that. Right, so I'm just making sure I get everything. Now I don't really care about collecting stuff. I just don't want to fucking lose any of these features. Oh, I don't know what that'll do. Yeah, the inertia is a bit annoying. You would need a real Sega 6-button control Street Fighter 2 pad. Oh man, look, just trying to get up there is making me scroll off the screen. That's really hard to get. I just want to see what it does if you get two of them bastards. Come on, man. Yeah, it don't do nothing if you get another one. Maybe you get more of these projectiles, should we call them? I don't know what they're meant to. Oh, come on, man. So, on a real C64, using the Sega Street Fighter 2 Mega Drive official controller, which has an excellent D-pad. That's the only reason I mentioned that. Yeah, it's fantastic little bit of programming for the C64. Oh no, and you lose the flower thing as well. See, I'm not used to the button doing nothing now. Oh no, that's not a fault of the conversion, that's the original game that does that. Right, so that works fine. So actually the pad itself for £4, I'm gonna say that's a pretty good price. You know, for an Amiga, that's a different issue. You probably used a zip stick most of the time, I would say, on those games, and that is an arcade quality thing. But in the early C64 era, very few joysticks you could buy were actually that good. Let's go with a real acid test now. So we got Manic Miner here. I'm not going to do any kind of trainers. No. What is it asking me? That looks really small, actually. I don't know if I've set 4 borders or something, but the output's quite clean because the laptop uses S-Video, and just as annoyingly as a real C64, you have to reach over to press return every time you want to play the game. Yeah, it kind of feels like a high mileage Sega Master System directional pad on the you know, the Joypad, and the buttons kind of feel like that as well, so I suppose it is like that. So this thing is definitely worth it. Maybe if there was an Act Games Mega Drive, the controllers might be like this on the early ones. You know, third party Mega Drive controllers, they're not as good as a proper one. Oh, that was a real risk, that was. This game really tests joystick accuracy. So that's why I always test out any joystick reviews I'm doing with Manic Miner on a real C64. But apart from the taskbar constantly glitching up on the, you know, the bottom character row, I suppose, in the border, which you might not even be able to see because I've got the camera quite zoomed in. I wonder if we can zoom in a bit more. Let's see. Just to try and get an idea of, you know, graphics using an emulator. Yeah, that's pretty close actually. Let's go with that. Absolutely fine. There doesn't seem to be any kind of delay. Using a PC with this particular USB controller. Loads of people sell them. They start at about £4.17 including postage. See, if you connect a real C64 to you know, an LCD, you can sometimes get you know, lag delay in response to what you're doing in reality and what happens on the screen. So on a real C64, even with a zip stick playing Manic Miner, if you got the wrong TV, not only will it look like bloody low file size, high compression JPEGs from the early days of internet dial-up technology, and you won't get that with a PC and this controller, as long as, like I say, your PC runs the emulator fine, and using Windows is bearable for you. I've never tried a C64 emulator on a Macintosh, and I've never tried OS X properly. I've tried it in shops, but I've never installed it on anything. I did have a Mac. It was a Quadra, and it was I think they're called the Beige Power PC Towers or something. It was like 366 megahertz, was it? A Power PC chip. But it had the video capture card built in on that model. It came as part of it, which allowed you to record S-video. Oh, that was close. Shit. Should have jumped him again. See, if you go at the wrong time. I made that mistake many times using the rubbish joysticks and even the zip stick on the SX-C64. So yeah, it really depends if you're using a laptop on a CRT, just so that you'd be able to see the graphics as they're intended. So your laptop needs to do S-video or SCART RGB. That's why I want to use it on a CRT. They just look nicer. But yeah, I think this controller is win. It's a definite bargain. So there might be better ones because there's more expensive ones. Some have got light grey buttons, some have got black buttons for the extra 3 buttons on the Joypad. So yeah, it's definitely down to if you've got no other problems with playing games on Vice, other than you have to use PC cursor keys or whatever on the keyboard, if you've got no issues other than that, I think this is a viable solution. And something like this, £4, even if it only lasts 6 months or something, is so cheap. That includes the postage. I mean, if you have a problem, it probably costs you half of that £4 to send it back to them, because you've got to send it back to the seller tracked. So of course, Coca-Cola Zero, shit product placement. It's a great product, it's just my placement is shit. That's not how you do product placement. That's 1950s kind of product placement. So yeah, it is an option. So the only thing I'd say is the cable is probably alright if you're using a laptop or you've got your PC very close to your monitor, but my PC's on the floor out of sight because it's basically just connected to the projector. I don't really need it anywhere near the projected image on the screen because you don't sit that close to it. Yeah, I'm just messing about trying the joypad there, doing silly buggers. Silly buggers. Right, so yeah, I mean it could be a slight issue. There we go. It's absolutely fine for playing Manic Miner, which means it would be absolutely fine for any platformer. Now I can test that by playing Global Gladiators. That is that. Oh crap. I don't know if that was me or the controller. I don't usually do that. See, you do need a good controller to play this game. But there's no lag. There's no lag introduced by the emulator, and for some reason the scrolling games like to corrupt the graphics, which I don't really know why that is. See, I've done it slightly different time this time, and it does get a bit risky, but yeah, that's basically when you've got to jump for that. Yeah, let's just have another quick look at what other games I had. Oh, I've just thought of one. Yeah, if I don't fucking fall off this bit, you have to jump quite late on that, see. Oh, I don't know if the fire buttons have got a very slight delay, or it's just because it's a crap controller. Let's see how you do this one. Shouldn't really do it then. That was taking a risk. Certainly having fun playing this. And I'm using a Windows PC. That just went the wrong time then. But then again, you didn't see all the frustration and shit that goes on when you use Windows hardware for the first time. Just fucking annoying. Certain things should work and they don't. That's just the way it is. Now these little Pac-Men go slightly faster than you, so you have to remember that, especially when you're coming back. And that little conveyor belt there is a real bastard of a red herring. So that's basically what you've got to try and do, and then don't drop down there for whatever. Right. The next screen is actually quite tricky. Oh no, actually you have to go from here. Yeah, you can do all the tricky maneuvers on Manic Miner under emulation. Emulation that's working well, I should point out. I'm gonna fuck this up now, but you're probably bored of Manic Miner. I have actually got past this level. Although right now I can't remember which is the way that I have to do it. Ah man. So that's quite good. Now I'm kind of aware of the amount of time that's being taken up here. With the C64, which is probably the most popular computer that Americans follow, home computer, ignoring the PC and the Macintosh. But it's not the most popular retro system by far, so I'm just having a quick look here. I want Swiv to work because Swiv is one of the best shoot 'em ups for the C64. my upload of you know, the 1.5 gigabyte lossless RGB recording, basically that 240p video that 240p video when YouTube started recompressing the crap out of 240p and 360p videos to save a few pence on server space for YouTube, nah, it's just I think it was Z, which was the fire button. You have to press return. Right, okay, so yeah. And yeah. This is bad news. This is terrible situation. It's like Windows is trying to fucking write to the screen at the same time as fucking voice. Nah, it's got to load some more. Yeah, a bit more of this. Let's have a coconut ring. If you're a pensioner, you'd love coconut rings. I'm not quite a pensioner yet though. Yeah, so really, if you're going to go the emulation route with one of these Joypads, oh, luckily there's no collision. I can finish me biscuit, thank you. It's a very good shoot 'em up. Some of the graphics, like the tanks, are a bit blocky, but the planes, they're quite good. And the guns on the floor. You know, the background graphics all right. That is actual shield anyway, but we got the trainer on here, so. Now, funny thing is, this is actually working fine. So is it a Vice NTSC issue? I can't remember if I tried the Iridium again. I'm going to have to go back to that. Yeah, because we couldn't find the land strip. So for some reason, either that or gone fucking blind. My name's Bill, I went blind. Yeah, that's from The Conjuring 2, you got to check that out. It's a great film. Yeah, this is a brilliant shoot 'em up. And it's not glitching now, so that's good. Is that a fucking power up? What is that? I can't remember what space does. I don't know what the special weapon is actually. I'm pressing space. I thought it was space, but I think maybe you pick up the smart bomb. Fantastic bit of coding, and basically, crap, see if you actually hit that one it fires at you. What a bastard. Hey, you're right there. You had your biscuits, did you? Are you just being nice because you want Webbox? It's not really Webbox time. Yeah, this Joypad for this thing is absolutely great. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say playing something like Twin Cobra on a PC Engine emulator, because Magic Engine is a very good emulator, which I didn't copy. I'd already spent so much time messing about with this laptop to then go up, you know, to another room and get a portable hard drive so I can copy files from my system and then copy them back onto this laptop. You know, yeah, don't forget I'm playing this with trainers. It wouldn't be anything like this easy. I'm not even remembering that I'm supposed to, what was I going to say? I've forgotten what I was supposed to remember. It's that classic. But yeah, I mean, Manic Miner plays fine, so it's going to be fine with just about any platformer. Bounty Bob Strikes Back. I'm trying to think what other good C64 platformers there are. You know, the D-pad has definitely broken in nicely. You know, it's definitely up to third-party Mega Drive controllers at the moment. Maybe, yeah, quite, you know, broken in one. So yeah, that's enough of that. That's, so maybe removing the taskbar completely would help. Well, let's see, because we had problems with Iridium. That shouldn't make a difference, should it? No, not. Yeah, I do want a nice emulation setup. Yeah, it is quite important because I don't really want to knacker out all the real stuff. And it is more convenient. Emulation is the most convenient way. And you know, with a good USB controller, there's no problem again. Right, I don't like these crack throws. I wouldn't use crack throws if I had an SD to IEC. I'd make sure I get everything I want as a PRG file, so let's go if I score, I should go reset. Right, let's try that again. Okay, well the stars in the background are not glitching. This is all. Is it all down to the bloody taskbar on Windows XP Service Pack 2? Is that what's going on? I mean, the frame update could be a lot more rock solid and even. Crap, see, I'm looking for the land thing and I can't find it. Maybe it only lights up. So, right, it's down the middle. Oh crap, they fire straight away. This is quite a hardcore game. This is the kind of game you'd have in the arcades in like 1981, 1982. Be quite happy with it then. Because everything on the C64 was available in 1981. I was pressing back there and it didn't go back, so I pressed it twice actually, so maybe this controller is not quite up to Iridium levels of zip stickness. Zip stickness! Right, okay. Let's just keep going down here. Oh, actually, that thing won't come on until you destroy enough of the dreadnought stuff. That's a bit weird. Is it because... Ah, you know what? Hang on a minute here. I think I know what's going on. Let's pause this for a second. Because I don't know if you've got a time limit for that. I messed about with the settings for the gamma. They are quite high. I would go with 2 myself. No, there is definitely something funny going on here. The bits that are meant to be in white, they're not actually, how odd. See, this is something you don't really get on a real C64, on a real CRT. No, I can't see anything else being a problem there. Not really sure why it's not rendering things properly. No, it's definitely not the TV. That is really odd. Well, mine it looked fine, so we'll put that down to a crack. I didn't copy all the tape files because they take forever. Alt P, I think. Unpause this. Oh man. Oh, pause button, right, okay. Right, let's just... Oh, right, yeah, see, what I usually do is just keep my finger on the button and, or keep hammering the button, and you will eventually just, out of luck, get some good points here. Yeah, the graphics are wrong now because I've fucked about with the, yeah, let's try a different game anyway. Pauses anyway when you're doing this shit. Video settings. I think it's on 1.8 or something by default. 1.8. Let's go 1.9. See, that looks right now. I don't know why. No, there's something funny going on with this thing. Because you'll press to go back and it won't always respond. This is not a good level to actually test this out. I did actually get past this level, don't know by how many more, but I got past this level fairly early on when I owned it. Yeah, that could be an emulator issue actually. So yeah, it's ideally you should have both. You're just checking out some games to decide if there's one you'd want to buy and play with a zip stick on a real C64, then yeah. What else we got there? Right, okay. This all loads quite fast. So just checking if there's anything else. Oh, there's Hunchback, and now we'll do this. This is not too taxing for an emulator, so looking good on the old epilepsy-inducing flashing bars. How did people with epilepsy get on in the 8-bit era? There was so much flashing raster bars. No, I'm not taking a piss. That is a real thing. Yeah, that's space to get me past that. Play it with no